Hello and welcome to GNO, that's Gaia Night Online, and this is the time of week, every week, where we come together as a community and pull cards for the week ahead. And we've got a pretty big week this week. And right now I'm all alone, but I know I have at least one person who's planning on joining me, so I hope she gets here soon. But I'm going to dive in since we have such a big week, the last few days of 2014. So tomorrow, Tuesday, I don't know what tomorrow's date is, the 31st? No, the 30th. Tuesday the 30th, the moon is going to move into Taurus, and this is going to be the moon that's going to usher out this old year and usher in the new year. And Taurus is great when it comes to value and abundance and all that stuff. And so for the moon in Taurus, well, I pulled two cards. The first card I pulled was schizophrenia. And what I love about this card is, you know, you see this person and they're holding on to two sides. And how I take this with this card Taurus, or the moon in Taurus, is that, you know, Taurus can be, any earth sign can be a sign of manifestation, bringing things into the physical. But if we're confused, if we're holding on to two sides, especially two kind of opposing sides, then we're not clear, we're being stretched, and we're not really going to get what we want. So, you know, I pulled a card, like if we can get clarity, if we can get past this schizophrenia where we're holding on to two places instead of one, I pulled the card the dream, which is basically infinite possibilities, your dreams coming true. Yay!
Hi.
Hello. Just pulled the card schizophrenia and the dream for the moon in Taurus.
Oh, of course.
Of course. So, anyways, so if you can get yourself all together, see how those birds, they're flying together, they know their direction. So get clear in your mind, and your dreams can come true. And I was going to pull a card. I got a deck from Karen. I'm very excited, called Angel Dreams. I'm going to pull a card from that. Oh, and I pulled the card Violet, which is spirituality, wisdom, and humility. And to me, looks like she's got her chakras all in alignment. So again, it's all in alignment. It's not being pulled in crazy directions. Get aligned.
Well, that's funny because I kind of pulled the equivalent of the schizophrenia card. So I have the Seven of Cups. So this is usually the card of illusion or projection of something that you want in your life, but if you don't see it clearly, if you stay in kind of a fantasy version of it, and this is a good card for that Taurus energy to come online for you, because Taurus is, you know, the planet of the earth. You got to clear up those visions. You got to see it more clear, and you've got to decide on what you want to go for.
Perfect. Karen, we're pulling, well, hi Karen first. We're pulling cards for the moon in Taurus, if you want to pull it for the moon in Taurus.
Okay. Let's see, I first got the Ten of Pentacles, and we know what that means. That means prosperity, gifts. That means basically, as a Leo, we love the Ten of Pentacles because it means you're handed the crown. So this looks like a very prosperous full moon coming up, and it will be in the new year, right? January 4th, right?
Yeah, the full moon happens, yeah, on the 4th. But
right. But this is for the new moon?
This is for moon in Taurus, which is ushering out of 2014 and into 2015.
Well, I'll take this. I'll take the ten of Pentacles any day of the week. So yeah.
What's really cool is that we're leaving a 7-year and moving into an 8-year, and 8 is that essence of prosperity. So. Cool.
Well, I'm all for that. But I'm sorry I was late to the party.
I love it. I love having lots of peeps. All right, so the next, I thought we could pull a card for the new year, for, I don't know, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I guess, is what I had. Maybe the new year in general. Okay. So I love this card. I pulled the card The Outsider. And this card is, like, again, like, it reminds me kind of the schizophrenia card that I pulled before. This card has this little guy who's like, you just want to go on the gate. It looks like so much fun over there. Grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. But what's interesting, I don't know if you can see, but the lock is actually undone.
Aww.
only being kept out because, you know, there's this illusion, there's this gate here. So, like, I take this as, you know, our dreams. You can step right in. All you need to do is basically give yourself permission. Take off that lock that's already open for you and give yourself permission to go through. And I see Nikki's laughing, so she's probably got something interesting. And Karen, I'm pulling cards from my new deck from you as well. And so
yay! Great.
Yeah. And so I pulled school lessons.
Oh, wow.
Saturn and Sagittarius. It's time to learn those lessons. It's time to expand your mind. So, you know, maybe there's something you've been waiting to cross the threshold because, I don't know, you didn't feel ready, and now it's like, okay, you got those lessons.
You know what I was picking up when you were just showing that card, Mimi? I was really picking up this essence of picking up something new. It was almost like when I was looking at the child looking through the gate. You know, it's like I just feel like, especially with the Sagittarian Saturn energy and everything, I've just been feeling like everybody should maybe challenge themselves a little bit and pick up something new, try something different that you know, outside of your own box. If you want to learn a language, if you want to learn Spanish, learn Japanese, you know, or if you want to pick up an instrument if you've never done it before. I feel that energy. I've just been feeling it, you know, since Sagittarius, you know, left and Capricorn came in. So it just goes kind of, the vibration of the cards kind of made me feel that way.
I like it.
Well, I got the equivalent of that little boy hanging out by the gate. That's why I started laughing. So I have the Eight of Swords, and if you look at the woman in the middle of these swords, she has these, basically she has bound herself, but the bonds are loose. She can wiggle free whenever she wants, just like that little boy with the lock on the door that's open. It's like the only one that's keeping this person stuck or stagnant or away from what they want is themselves, and it's your chance and your choice to free yourself, because this card's usually because you're scared of what you're going to see. You're scared what you might be honest with yourself about. But keeping yourself stagnant is way worse than what you're ever going to see. And so it's really time to free yourself and allow your emotions to flow. The thoughts are just thoughts. It lives in that air realm. So, you know, it's those, and I've been feeling it in my own life, so I'm going to, you know, kind of what Karen's saying, it's like it's time to learn something new. And the only thing that's keeping you from learning something new is those resistant voices, the ones that are like, no, you can't do that. No, don't leave. No, don't, you know, don't try something new, or you won't be good at it. And it's like, okay, they can be there, but you still can move through the resistance. I think the most that you can feel alive is to hear the resistance and do it anyway.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Really beautifully said. When you feel something resisting, acknowledge that resistance, and then get to know it. Or trigger. So if you have a trigger, that's something that makes you want to like go crazy or get mad or drink and do heavy drugs or get in the car and, you know, be reckless, you know. Notice these triggers, notice these things, and introduce yourself to them, and become fearless.
You know what?
And go beyond that.
My mentor with anything like that, she would like give it a face and pull up a chair and like have a conversation with it. It was one of my favorite things. It's still one of my favorite things to do. I wrote a blog about it, about lack, and I gave lack a face and pulled up a chair, and lack has things to say. So whatever that is, talk to it. Don't talk to it, because there's consciousness in like everything. It's amazing.
I'm going to bring it in, but that's one of the exercises we do in the Artist Way class.
Oh, that's so cool.
Is we identify the voices, and you start really realizing who's on your team, your board members, and they all have something to say, and then we give them these things, these secret selves, these different voices that live in there, and we help them be on your team instead of just shouting at you their opinion. So that is actually something that I will teach in the Artist Way class.
And speaking of lessons, that would be a great place to start.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull a card, Karen, for
Yeah, well, this kind of goes with my Ten of Pentacles. It's one of my other favorite cards, the Ace of Wands. Can we see that? And for me, the Ace of Wands is always saying there's a new opportunity. There's somebody knocking at your door. Basically, when I'm doing a reading, if I get this means that you're being handed a message or an opportunity. Once again, it's like the beginning of prosperity. But you have to open the door. So I'm getting a loop, I'm getting a feeling here between the three of us, the opening of the door and the unbinding from the things that are holding you down. Well, now's the time to take this opportunity and to make it grow. Mm-hmm. And this is the beginning of a new venture. This could be something in business, this could be your love life. So don't be afraid, like Nikki was saying, and just go ahead and let this grow. Experiment. Don't be afraid. Don't be, unhealthy or silly. But, go ahead, and if you want to do it, the opportunity is there for you. So now I'm happy about this. I like this.
Ooh, 2015. All right. So then on the first January 1st, 2015. The moon is going to move into Gemini. And so the first day of the new year with the Gemini moon, the Osho card I pulled, I love this card. I pulled the Existence card.
Ooh.
And this card, I love this for starting off a new year. I see this, Gemini can be that, it's a sign of duality. And so I almost see this as like, hey, bring it all together into your oneness, show up as you, be you, do you. Kind of thing. Like, that's the feeling of this card that I get. So, again, going along with that schizophrenia card I pulled earlier, I'm keep going back to schizophrenia. Pull it all into what, I think a lot of us do act schizophrenic. Like, so some people we act this way, and other people we act this way, and then behind closed doors we do this thing. Pull it all in. Be you. And, the people who love you will allow you to be you, and the ones who are meant to be in your vibration, if they're not, then they'll go away, and then you don't have to, give that your energy. And so that's pretty amazing. And then the Karen cards, as they've been dubbed, I pulled the Sun card, and it is illumination, growth, and God energy. And so that's just going with that theme that we keep talking about, this growth and expansion of this year. So, let yourself be you. Shine. Show up.
I like that. I'm ready for that.
On the same page, I got the Ace of Swords. So, there's that crown again, too. But it is a new idea, a new clarity, a new gusto, a new way of thinking, a new vision. So that's bringing back to the schizophrenia, the moon in Gemini. So we have these two sides of ourselves, and it's bringing it into one. And in the Osho deck, I keep pulling, and I have them in my hand, but I didn't pull it for this. I have the integration. I keep pulling integration card, where it's like integrating all of those things, the male, the female aspect, the left brain, the right brain, this and that. And so with this Ace of Swords, I feel those two coming as one idea, one vision, one thought, one clarity, and then going out, going forth with that new energy and new vision. Because this is definitely, the Aces are cards of action and cards of a God-given gift. So definitely going forth in that way. I like that with Gemini.
And 3,000 miles away, I pulled the Ace of Swords. So this is confirmation. When I first pulled it, I went, because I'm pulling these live here. You guys, I think, prepped for the show. I didn't have time.
I did not.
Oh, you pulled it? So, I pulled it, I went,
before, so I'm not fumbling with cards.
I was like, should I pull another one? But I think this is a confirmation card. This is an offering. I'm feeling this is the time to not only what Nikki just said, but just also the things that making that Gemini left and right, making those decisions. Are you going to be the bad Gemini, or are you going to be the good Gemini? What side of the fence are you going on? And then pick that side. Pick your path. The worst thing to do is not to pick the path. The worst thing to do is, I think one of you two said, stagnation. Stagnation's the worst thing. So just go ahead and pick a path and do it, and it's going to be very, very prosperous, and things are going to open for you. So that's a little crazy there. But I like confirmation. Thank you, angels.
Woohoo! Fantastic. All right, so then on Saturday, we have Venus, the planet of relationships, moving into Aquarius. And I gotta say, I love this card that I pulled for it. It's kind of funny to me. So for Venus and Aquarius from Osho, I pulled the Mind card.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, to me, like, you can see what your mind will do to a relationship if you let it get away with it. You know, like there's fires and it's spinning and it's confused. Right. And I just don't think that the mind is the place of relationships. So this card's like, hey, you know, this air sign, Aquarius, when it comes to your relationships, you know, find a deeper place. And interestingly enough, the deeper place that I pulled for this was past lives.
Is what one?
Past lives.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So from Osho, because if I pull cards like mine, I like to have something else to go with it. And so, you know, with this, maybe if there is something that's like stirring up your mind and you can't like get around it, maybe it's like, oh hey, you know, I'm stuck right now in this. Maybe you need to like dive into the story. I find a lot of good work comes when I go into the past lives of things. Right. I get that easily. If you're somebody who does, you know, go into it. And meanwhile, the Karen card says food. It's health, but this I take as take care of yourself. You know, that's another way. I woke up with my mind spinning today. Like my mind was like not stopping, and it looked like that card. Like that was my mind when I woke up this morning. It was not pretty. And so I owned myself down off that ladder that was taking me to who knows where, and then I took care of myself, and I felt a lot better. So, you know, I want to mention that during this time of Venus and Aquarius, we are going to go into Mercury retrograde. So your mind may start playing games. So get back into your body if your mind starts doing that. I think that's the best lesson in all this.
So what I got, it's interesting because when I first pulled it, I was like, huh. I got what Karen had earlier, which is the Ace of Wands. And then so I wanted to pull another card for it just because I wanted to. And I got the Queen of Wands. So we got some Wands cards for this particular transit from me. So what I would say is kind of that self-nurturing, I feel that with it, especially with that Queen of Wands, and self-nurturing in a passionate way, in a kind of rejuvenating yourself. And you know what, honestly, as we're talking about Venus and I'm going there, this is very phallic to me. So, you know, I mean,
I never thought of it that way, but it is. So you're right.
It looks very phallic. And she's holding it, so you know, taking your power sexually, I'd say, in this, because honestly, this Aquarius, I mean, it's definitely doing something different. It's also about kind of humanity, and I think our totality of consciousness right now is really suppressed sexually, and I think that if we want to heal something within ourselves, I think it's time to heal our own sexuality. If we're all connected, and I always find Aquarius being collective consciousness, then you got to start with you, and with these solitary cards, you got to start with you to heal your own sexuality so you can heal it for the collective. Start with you if you're having trouble in this area with passion and sex.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so Karen?
I pulled the Three of Pentacles, and to me that just it says a lot about union, the coming together, the bringing together of a reward, basically, reward of all your abilities. The ability, all your efforts will finally be realized and be rewarded. But it also, to me, just because of the nature of it, with like a couple standing there with, you know, basically like a christening, it does say like a union, like coming together, like not only in a physical sense, like Nikki was saying, but also like in a spiritual sense, and a communion between two people, and a communion between you and maybe another person and source energy. So I don't think it's just about like rewards for a well done job. I also think that it also stands for a union. It could be you and source energy, you and someone else, you and someone else, and the source energy. But this ability is rewarded, and I always feel happy when I see this card.
Ew. Hey, Paige, do you have a card? Welcome, by the way.
Yeah, hi.
Aquarius?
I had something really funny just happen, actually. This is Megan, by the way. I was like, oh, I'm going to pull a card for whatever they're pulling a card for, and one fell out of the deck, and Nikki, I would think you would think this was funny, because look at what it is. Can you see?
Going with the flow. I pulled it earlier. Yeah.
I saw that. That's why I was just like, no way.
That's awesome.
So, I don't even know what that was for or anything, but it happened, so.
Yes, in Aquarius. That works. Going with the flow. All right, so then next week we get to Sunday, and on Sunday we have Mercury moving into Mercury moving into Aquarius, and then the full moon in Cancer. So we'll start with Mercury moving into Aquarius, and I gotta tell you that while we have Mercury in Aquarius, we're gonna go into our Mercury retrograde. So this card is so appropriate. Postponement.
Wow.
Paige says
Wow.
made a meme for actually is perfect with this. Paige last night was, stuck in an airport, got sent to a different airport, like crazy stuff, and she's like, but I appreciate the mind delay. And so, like, that's the thing. If there are postponements or if there's anything like that in your life with Mercury and Aquarius going through the shadow period, Mercury retrograde, recognize that it is divine delay, and it's okay. Everything's going to work out. Honor the postponement, and meanwhile, enjoy the view. That's how I'm taking that card. And the Karen card. Let's see what Karen card.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Wow. I got school again.
Oh, shoot. Oops. Sorry.
I got school again. So, lessons. Divine delay, lessons, expand your mind. I think retrograde's always an amazing time as you're experiencing those delays to open up, because there's some good lessons in all that stuff, including the lesson of patience.
Look what I got right when you said that.
She's very excited. What did you get? Oh, we pulled patience.
Like right when you said that.
Perfect. I love it.
Well, I have the star card for it. So Mercury and Aquarius and the star card. So I kind of get this feeling of like bringing more light to it. So a lot of people think that Mercury retrograde is kind of like a dark time or like a hard time. I say bring more light to it. Because stars are, those little shines of hope in the darkness. So if you keep your mind right, I think that this could be more smooth than a normal retrograde. Allow yourself to flow with it. Allow yourself, kind of going back to Paige, the go with the flow card with this Aquarius energy. And then I felt like I wanted to pull an Osho card after you pulled that. And I got the lazy card. So patience, lazy, postponement. Like, I almost feel like enjoy it. Just like, all the technology's down. Oh, well, screw it. I'm going to have a margarita by the pool. Screw you guys. And that's, I think, how to deal with it this time. Don't take it so, personally or seriously. Just kind of relax.
Perfect.
That's it.
I love it. Karen, do you want to pull a card for Mercury?
We're still on the same topic, right? Because I already pulled the cards.
Yes. Mercury.
Sorry, I have dinner in the oven. I had to check on it. Well, at first I pulled the Queen of Wands, just like Nikki just did, and I thought, okay, maybe I should just, go to Florida. But I decided to pull another one, and just because. That's crazy. I got the Wheel of Fortune, and that doesn't necessarily mean that, great things are going to happen. It just means the ups and downs in life. There's duality, and just you have to kind of go with the flow. Jeremiel is the archangel associated with this card if you're doing angel cards, and he is the kind of person that just wants you to, he will help guide you and show you the best way to how do I want to say this, the best way to plow the road ahead. So if you're having trouble making a decision, or you see that things maybe might not be going your way, then you may want to call on Jeremiel and just say, I need your assistance, and I give you permission to help me. So there's a little help there for you at the moon at that time.
I love that. That's very helpful. All right, so then we have the full moon in Cancer happening at 8:53 p.m. Pacific on Sunday night. So Mercury moving, and then the full moon. And I love the card that I pulled for Osho. I pulled the Harmony card.
Ooh.
And I love this. This being feels very in tune. You see the dolphins lighting up, the heart chakra and the third eye chakra. And so, like, you know, the moon, the full moon, especially full moon in Cancer, it's such an emotional time. You know, it really bring up your emotions. So, you know, get that higher guidance from your third eye. Tune into your heart and be, like, don't fight those emotions. Be at peace. Be in harmony. Go with the flow, you know, with whatever comes up. And then, speaking of that, I love this. From the Karen deck, I pulled the silver card. It's Angel Dreams, by the way, but it's the Karen deck. I pulled the silver card, which is very lunar, obviously, and this is goddess insight. And there's, you know, the water and the third eye, you know, and so that's like one of the things. For me, if I'm having problems, like emotions are coming up and I don't know how to deal, I like Mary Magdalene. She's like one of my favorites right now. I call on the goddess energy to come help me through. I think it's the same with Karen, you know, talking about the angel energy. And then you have, like, this higher vibration that's with you that can help guide you through that, you know, emotion forest that can come, the emotional flood that can come. So this is saying, hey, reach out to your peeps.
Holy crap, we're in such alignment tonight, it's not even funny.
Oh, no.
So here's an interesting thing. So I pulled one from the Osho, and I pulled one from my tarot deck. I pulled Temperance, and then I pulled what I was talking about before, the integration card. But if you know both decks, it's the same card.
Yes.
I was like, holy, like, seriously, I totally I just want to kind of reiterate what I said before with the integration for this full moon. It's taking all of those things, because a lot of things will pop through on and a lot of people think that a full moon is a release, but really I almost think that things can be pulled up to the surface so you can reintegrate them in a different way. So something might pop up like an old trauma, and then you can look at it differently and then reprocess it and integrate it into your experience instead of holding on to it as a trauma. So what Mimi was saying about the higher, and Karen with the angels and the higher way of doing it, and you're being guided. I mean, the Temperance card, obviously, it's like you are being guided and you're on this path as an angel with the angels. So you are being guided through this, and it's also seeing, and I'm getting this a lot with me and my clients, is they're starting to see different aspects of themselves, and it's really about when it pops through, instead of judging yourself for these parts of yourself, it's about accepting them and accepting all the colors of the rainbow. As Paige, I saw, had a rainbow behind her. It's like accepting all the colors of your rainbow and allowing them to be part of your process.
Ew. I love that. Karen?
I pulled the Hermit reversed, which I find very funny because, I mean, first of all, you know, the hermit in the shell, kind of like the whole crab in the shell, and I know many people, especially Cancer risings, which includes myself. I conquered this, but many Cancer risings and Cancers just have a complete breakdown during the Cancer full moon. And when I pulled this reversed, it kind of said, don't, instead of the breakdown, it's like I talked about earlier, invite that trigger, invite that whatever, that evil other side of you at the table, like Nikki was saying and you were saying, and get to know it and say, one thing they teach us in Yandi, which is, child, is like you say, I'm evicting you. Just tell that energy, I'm evicting you. You know your rent's no good here anymore, and you're evicted. So try to work with these energies. If you're feeling like way heavy and a lot of energy coming down on you, just try to release it. Know that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what this card says to me. That look for the light. Don't look for the darkness. Don't climb into that shell. Recognize the shell for what it is, what it's done for you. Yes, it protects you, but also what is it protecting you from? So, go with that.
Paige,
Does that make sense?
Yes, very much it does. Do you have a card for the full moon in Cancer, Paige?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily make sense, but it's so beautiful.
We like beautiful.
Huh?
We like beautiful.
It's the possibilities one, which I just love because I love raptors. So I don't know.
I think everything that Nikki, Karen, and I said, if you get into that space, all of those places are a place of possibilities. It's not the place of climbing back into that shell and hiding from the world. It's like, I'm opening up to these feelings. I'm opening up to being in harmony with myself. I'm opening up to this healing. That's absolutely a place of possibilities. And it's a place of flying high, going with the flow, the airflow. So.
And one thing, actually, can I throw something in, Mimi, is that something that I've really been living by the past 4 and 5 weeks is if you change the energy of your thought, or if you change your thought, you change your condition. And I have tried this literally every day for the past 5 weeks, friendship-wise, work-wise, boss-wise, conflict-wise, and I just realized, okay, I immediately would be upset about something. Oh, but let me take a second, just take a second, and change my thought about it. And once I did that, the very first time, it was a miracle. I couldn't believe what happened. So I would like to let the audience try that for a while. Change your thought, and you will change the condition. So I want to throw that in because that's really coming in with what you and Nikki and the cards we're pulling tonight. So a little challenge for your studio audience.
Karen, is your moon in the 3rd house or the 4th house? Remember?
I don't remember.
I
always have my chart up, so.
I have a 3rd house moon, and I just relate to that so much. And Paige is the 3rd house moon.
Me too.
Yeah, so I relate to that because my.
Oh, I am 3rd house, yes. Yeah, 3rd house.
That's a 3rd house moon thing. I was like, that's 3rd house moon right there. So if you have a 3rd house moon, that is really, it's good advice for anyone, but it's really good for us with those 3rd house moons. 3rd house, by the way, is the house of the mind. So the moon, which is the emotions in the mind, can get like this. So I thought we would pull one more card for 2015 because it's going to be 2015 and that's pretty cool. So I pull the card for 2015, the card Silence. And what I like, the first thing that I like about this card is actually that it's numerology. It's 17, which is an 8, and we're moving into an 8 year. So I was like, oh, it's an 8. That's so cool. But I really like this because, we've just been in a 7 year. We're moving into an 8 year, and it's really important to bring the awareness that we cultivated, the intuition that we cultivated, all into bringing things into the physical. So don't stop your meditation process. Keep it up. Keep expanding that. Going into that place where you're connecting into your higher self. As you, move into this year of prosperity and abundance, currency, like Nikki likes to say, currency has moved into my vocabulary, Nikki, thanks to you. So, and then going along with that from the Karen cards is lucid dream, which is awareness and opportunity. And that's so the energy of the silence card is bring in that awareness. And then it's opening, there's just butterflies coming from her hand and I don't know what's in the other thing, but it's kind of gold and shiny like coins. So butterflies and coins. Amazingness is coming your way, but you have to tune into you.
And once again, Mimi, what's the 8-year mean again? Just in a synopsis.
8 is like prosperity, abundance.
Yes.
Yeah, 8 is not afraid to do the work. No, it is definitely a time of work. But if you step up and do that work, everything comes for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
I feel that right now. So this is kind of interesting again. So I pulled, like Karen did, I pulled the 10 of Pentacles. If you work for it, you will have the prosperity. That's exactly what we just talked about. And so then I pulled an Osho card, and then I pulled another one, and then I pulled the same equivalent, the 10 of Pentacles.
Wow.
The 10 of Rainbows. And we are the world, so we got to do it together as well. Okay, so then with the original one I pulled for the Osho deck, again, the new vision, which is like the Ace of Swords. So we have this theme that we have going on tonight, but it's finding that new vision, and this being is coming out of the ground, rooted to the ground. It's kind of this very phoenix energy, and now it's grounded to the earth, and the top half of its body is wings.
Wow.
So I really do think with that earth and the flying, it's both. If you do the work, there will be prosperity. So just jump into the work.
Yes.
Bring it into reality, and it's like living. I'm feeling very much with this card. It's like living in both worlds, making sure you're grounded to this earth so you can manifest here, but also remember to have the dream, have the vision, being in that like Piscean energy, and bringing it here into this like Earth, Virgo, Taurus-y energy, and so living in both worlds at the same time.
Kind of like the lucid card that Mimi just pulled, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
All tied in tonight. It's very...
And tied in, of course, is the Magician. And the Magician, to me, represents Archangel Raziel, who I love. He's one of my... Well, they're all my favorites, but... Raziel is like all the colors of the rainbow. When you see rainbows like in the light, some kind of reflection or a real rainbow, Raziel is there to tell you to like tap into your magic. Everything's before you. All the magic is there for you to learn and to master, and now it's being handed to you. So always, once again, going with our whole thing for the day, it's like whatever you want to do, you can make happen, but you have to make it happen. You can't just sit around and wait for it to happen. So I think it just all is tying into this whole one big theme, which is interesting, which I love. Synchronicity.
Mm-hmm. You have a card for 2015, Paige?
Yeah. Trust.
Yo, I love that.
Oh my gosh,
Really
that's awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
It's a really cool one. So.
That's awesome. Simple.
Because without trust, I mean, you have to have the trust. You have to trust it. We don't know what's behind that door. We don't know what's behind that gate, but we have to open it.
Totally. Cool. Yes. Open up the gate. Take off that open lock.
All right.
All right. So, Nikki, do you want to mention your class that's coming up really quick?
Yeah. You still have a couple more days to get the discounted rate, but you can still do it on January 1st. It will be $400. If you wait afterward, it will be $500. But it is on January 14th. It's the Artist Way class, and it really is about getting yourself out of creative blocks and all that resistance, and learning how to use resistance as a friend, and how to see how it motivates you, and see how you're on the right track. And then that's kind of the first half of the class, is working through your resistance and working through your blocks. And then the second half of the class, and it's a 12-week class, is all about kind of showing up differently and starting creative ventures and going for what you want to do. So I'm a Virgo. It definitely has practical application for sure. But this is a really good way to start out your new year, to go for the things you want and set yourself a plan.
Beautiful. Well,
I love it.
All of the cards definitely suggested it. So I think if you can, do it. Allow it. Allow it in your life. Not even to do. To allow in your life.
To allow. That's absolutely right.
All right. So, well then, everyone, I guess we will see you next year.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, it's so crazy. It's going to be so long. But thank you for joining us so much through 2014. Like, it's been fun watching the views every week go up. So thank you for joining us. And anybody who wants a card, stay afterwards and we will pull you a card. Namaste, 2014.
Namaste.
Adios.